let me make something very, very clear. I absolutely believe what I'm about to say. I believe it 100%. I believe it so much that I swear to God I believe it to be true, and I believe in God. So if I were to now say it and not believe it, it was just a comedy bit, I would be violating 2 of only 10 commandments. 20% of all the commandments. 1, thou shalt not use the Lord's name in vain. And 2, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. I swear to God, I believe that the modern liberal, that's who I described in this book I'm not going to point to, the dominant ideology in today's Democratic Party, also in my industry of entertainment, also in journalism, what have I left out? And academia. I swear to God, I believe that the modern liberal is the single stupidest human being to have ever lived. Why not? Some ideology has to be the stupidest in all of human history. And since stupidity is a luxury, right? You can only afford to be stupid when there's plenty, when there's lots of wealth, when somebody else will give you welfare, when it doesn't really matter. It only makes sense that you would find the stupidest ideology in all of human history, modern liberalism, in the most luxurious time and place in all of human history, America. But now I've got a problem. Is there water there in that cleanish glass? I don't even, you notice I said cleanish. I don't even care at this point. Just give me somebody who's not diseased. That's why I didn't go this way, Tony. But now I've got a problem. If the liberal is as stupid as I believe him to be, and let me be clear, I believe the modern liberal is Rain Man stupid. I believe that when you boil down the pseudo-intellectual rhetoric to its essence, the entirety of the modern liberal ideology is Rain Man. It's a Democrat good, Republican evil. I don't like evil. Evil's not good. Democrats like peace, Republicans like war. I don't like war. War's too loud. Can't hear Joy Behar. But if the liberal is, and by the way, the only difference that I've been able to discern between the modern liberal and Rain Man is that at least Rain Man could count. At least Rain Man would look at the deficit and go, unsustainable. It's unsustainable. But if the liberal is as stupid as I believe him to be, then how am I to explain this simple fact? The modern liberal seems to continually climb to the tops of their professions. Whatever it is I believe about Katie Couric, the woman is the most recent recipient of the Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Television Journalism. Right? Whatever it is I believe about Nancy Pelosi, the woman was very recently nothing less than the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives. Whatever it is I believe about CeeLo Green, he just won the Emmy Award, the Grammy Award for FU. Whatever it is I believe about these academics, they continue to dominate their profession. How is it that the modern liberal, if they are as stupid as I believe them to be, keeps making it to the tops of their professions? And then it dawned on me. That's, see how I have them? See how I have them? Liberals make it to the tops of their professions because they only enter those professions where you don't ever actually do anything. Every one of the professions that we associate with liberalism, academia, journalism, entertainment, and politics, is all talk, but no action. And you see, when you don't do anything, you don't need to know what you're talking about. Because when you don't do anything, what can go wrong? So the liberal flocks to academia. Why? Because the academic doesn't do anything. If they could, they would, but they can't, so they teach. It is so obvious that the academic doesn't do anything that the very name of their profession has become a synonym for not doing anything. As in, it's all academic anyway. Let's go do something. The job of the academic is for somebody who doesn't do anything to lecture to children who don't do anything. And what do they lecture about? They lecture about the people who do things and did things, and the things that they did and they do. The liberal flocks to journalism. Why? The journalist doesn't do anything. It is so obvious that the journalist doesn't do anything that you could remove their body, put it on ice, and they would still be able to do their job as a talking head. I love you. Are you married? Start the wave. That's good. And you know what's funny? Do you hear what she's saying? I haven't laughed like that in years. You're really, really funny. She's still not going to buy the book. $20, you're not that funny. The job of the journalist is for somebody who doesn't do anything to report to the people who do things. The things that the other people who do things were doing while they were out doing things. Why do you think the news was always out at 6 o'clock? Because that's when the people who do things came back from doing those things. And the liberal flock to government. Why? The government doesn't do anything. The job of the government is for people like Barack Obama, who have never done anything, to order the people who do everything to stop doing anything the way that they do those things. Ironically, if the people who do everything don't listen to the people who have never done anything, then the people who have never done anything will put the people who do everything in jail, where they won't be able to do anything, but where they will meet yet another Democratic Party constituency. And of course, the liberal flocks first and foremost to my industry, showbiz. Why? In show business, we don't do anything. The job of the actor is to pretend to be doing the things that the people who do things do. So when the people who do things finish doing those things, they go to a movie because it's something to do. Like every other liberal profession, the actor is all talk but no action. You know what's interesting though? In order to get the actor to start talking, the director yells action. But the second there's any actual action, they stop filming, they send the actor to his trailer, where he talks with his entourage and they bring in a stuntman. Now this is simply a fact, you may not know this, it is simply a fact. Virtually every stuntman is a conservative. Right? Is that not true? Virtually. And why? Because the stuntman is all action and no talk. And when you do things, your actions speak for themselves. Is he a good pilot? I don't know. Did the airplane land? Is he a good plumber? I don't know. Did the toilet flush? Is he a good electrician? I don't know. Do the lights go on? But when you don't do anything, how does anybody know if you're any good? All you have to do is be articulate. All you need to do is be clever. Here's how you know that showbiz is a liberal profession. Because one of the most important jobs in that profession is the reviewer. The reviewer doesn't do anything. The job of the reviewer is for a man who doesn't do anything to go out and see all the people who don't do anything. To report back to the people who do everything when he finds somebody who doesn't do anything particularly well. Have mercy on the reviewer. Think about how horrible this job is. You're covering your mouth again, man. No such thing, ma'am. That's like saying I'm voting too much. Just keep going, just keep doing it. That's what the Democrats do. Have pity, have mercy on the reviewer. Think about how horrible this job is. Night after night, week after week, month after month, your job is to go out and see all these people who do nothing. Knowing that not long ago, you too aspired to do nothing, but you just weren't good enough. Now, of all the people who do nothing, it is universally recognized that the smartest of them all is the stand-up comedian. You see, our genius is found in the fact that we do nothing in next to no time. Tony, how long have I been up here? 20 minutes?
Yeah, 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
20 minutes.
We're drinks free.
She's in the donor club.
I got you. So she can do anything she wants to do. The stand-up comedian, I've been up here 15 minutes. I got probably 5 more minutes to go. That's 20 minutes a night that I work. How genius is that? In fact, as my friend Rich Voss would say, it's the only job in the world where you say to your friends, I got to go to work. I'll be right back. Still, every once in a while, even though we do nothing, every once in a while a stand-up comedian comes along who is just so outstanding at not doing anything. Somebody like Jerry Seinfeld, that a network executive approaches him and gives him millions of dollars of other people's money to turn his life into a situation comedy. And when he does, even Seinfeld has to acknowledge it's a show about nothing. Because what else could it be about? Because the liberals' entire life is about nothing. Here's the key, folks. The difference between the left and the right is not found in what we do and we don't do in our jobs. Obviously, there are conservative comedians. There are conservative journalists. There are conservative politicians. There are conservative academics. The difference between the left and the right is not found in what we do and we don't do in our jobs. It is found in what we do and we don't do with our lives. And here you have to give the liberal just a little bit of credit. Because while we can agree that in their jobs, liberals do absolutely nothing, in their personal lives, some liberals have been known to do twice that much. The liberal's entire life is a whole lot of nothing, and here's why. Because while you and I recognize, and this is what my book is about, while you and I recognize the existence of the better, including America, which is not just the better, but the most exceptional nation in the history of the world, American Christianity, which is such a spectacular religion, you can applaud. Judaism, which gave us the entire concept of justice and forgiveness. Judeo-Christianity. What a spectacular combination. While we recognize the existence of the better, and therefore we spend our lives trying to better ourselves, the liberal spends his life just trying to be himself. How much intellect and effort can that take? Did you just see that? No, I was just myself. I just did it again. It requires so little intellect and effort to be yourself that a 5-year-old child could do it. That's why my book is called The Kindergarten of Eden, How the Modern Liberal Thinks. A 5-year-old child can be themselves. In fact, liberals are children. And the funny part is that they know that they're children. They're articulate children, they're clever children, they're witty children, but it is telling that the kindergartner and the elementary school child and the junior high school child and the smartest liberal share the same ideology. They actually, and they know that they're children. Look, we have leaders who call themselves by their grown-up names. We had George, not George E. Bush. We had Ronald, not Ronnie Reagan. We had Richard, not Richie Nixon. Yet Jimmy Carter knows he's not a James. He knows he's not a Jim. He is a Jimmy. It's not an accident. He is a Jimmy, and he knows he's a child. And you remember back in New Orleans when Mayor Nagin was trying to lure Democrats and liberals back to New Orleans? What did he promise them if they came? A chocolate city filled with candy and sweets and cupcakes and all these kind of things. Do you know where you've heard this before, folks? Do you know where you've heard the story of evil people trying to lure children to Candy Island? Pinocchio. And what happened when the children got there? They turned into the symbol of the Democratic Party. They know that they're children and they just want to spend their lives never growing up, just being themselves. Look at this woman, Sandra Fluck. Remember her? She was in her 4th decade on this planet, had still not left the schoolyard, and was famous for, in fact, got a call from the President of the United States, spoke at the Democratic National Convention because having contributed nothing to society, she was demanding more free things for herself. That's a child, that's a Democrat. You can applaud, what the hell? Heck, what the heck? And this is why the left hates our religious beliefs. It's funny because you would think the liberal would love the Catholic. Any Catholics here? Yeah. You know what I love about making fun of Catholics? You have to forgive me. No matter what I say now, you have to. Otherwise you wouldn't be a good Catholic and then it wouldn't. Because while I have been myself from the day I was born, you Catholics didn't even wait that long. You guys were yourselves from the day you were conceived. And you would think the liberals would love you for that because you spent the first 9 months of your life in a liberal paradise. What is the womb? Basically, you're sitting in a hot tub feeding off of somebody else. But liberals don't love the Catholics, do they? They hate the Catholics. And they hate the Protestants. And first and foremost, and I do believe that my peeps are finally starting to get it, first and foremost, liberals hate Jews. Why do you think the news media lies to help the terrorists in the Gaza Strip and the West Bank murder more Jewish children in Israel? Because they hate the Jews. And I'm convinced the reason liberals hate Jews is because the Jews gave us the 10 Commandments. And the liberal looks at the 10 Commandments and goes, my God, if I can't lie, if I can't cheat, if I can't steal, how will I ever be myself? You see, I am convinced, buy my book, I am convinced that the liberals hate the Jews because the Jews gave us the Bible. And the liberal was traumatized the first time he opened the Bible and saw there was an entire book spelled J-O-B. Anyway, guys, thank you so very much for allowing me to speak. Thank you.